Hey guys, welcome to Kate's Diary. I'm super excited to be back here, and we are going to be diving right into Zimbabwe, and we are going to be looking at something in Zimbabwe. Now we are going to be looking at this beautiful lady, this mother that always stands up for Africa. She always speaks the truth. She always stands for the truth. She's against this Western exploitation of Africa, this colonialism. She's always against that. Now, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Dr. Arikana. Now, Dr. Arikana is actually a born doctor. She's an activist and she's a diplomat. Now, she said something about IMF. What's her take about IMF? We are going to listen to that. But before we get to that, guys, if you haven't supported this channel, please do me a favor by subscribing, liking, and ensuring to comment. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much. I love you. God bless you. Now, let's listen to what Dr. Arikana has to say comes from IMF. So let's just listen to what she has to say concerning IMF loans.
IMF, World Bank, all other institutions, they make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank, IMF, is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa.
Yes, guys, so you just heard that. Now, Dr. Arikana says she is totally against Africans taking loans from IMF or World Bank. But now let's just focus on the IMF because that's what she was really emphasizing on. Yeah, she's against African countries taking loans from IMF. Yeah, why? Because look at US. When they take loans from IMF, right, they give them 1% interest rate or 1.5% interest rate. But when African countries take loans from IMF, they will always steer them to pay either 9% interest rate or 10% interest rate. That's a huge gap. That's a huge gap. Because I actually made a video here supporting Ibrahim Traore not rejecting IMF loan, and some people were like, I remember some few persons were like, oh, is there any bank where you can go there and take a loan without following rules and regulations, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's not just about following rules and regulations. Are the rules and regulations hurting your country? Because if you're taking a loan to help your country. So what makes the difference if you take a loan and then it instead hurts your country? Because that's exactly what IMF they are doing to African countries. When you take loans from them, the kind of rules that they give you, the kind of very strict rules, very strong rules that they give you are just rules that will just hurt your country. It will just hurt the economy of the country. No development at all. No development at all. Because why will US take loan and you people give them 1% or 1.5 interest rate? But when African countries come to take loans from you, you people give them 9% or 10% interest rate. Now, Dr. Arikana is saying that the people that actually need help, they are not getting it, which is African countries. They need the help. That's why they're coming to get the money. But the US that does not really need the help that much, they are the ones instead getting the help. It is not fair. They are the ones instead getting the help. So according to her, Africans should just forget about IMF. They should focus on their own available resources, building themselves and becoming independent. Now, she said that IMF keeps Africa in a cycle of debt. This is because when you take loan, let me say you take a loan from IMF, right? And you have to pay in 1 year's time. Now, in a year's time, if you're unable to pay, IMF will advise you to come and take another loan. Pay back the old loan at high interest rates, and they will give it at high interest rate. They will advise you to take another loan, pay back the old loan, and then you're still owing them a loan that you keep owing, and it will be difficult for you to pay. They keep you in a cycle of debt. So at the end of the day, when they give those their rules, sometimes they will even advise, they will come into the countries that have actually taken loans from this IMF, they will advise them not to support farmers, advise them not to support the building of schools, not to support the building of hospitals, construction of roads, and sometimes they even advise them to sell important national companies companies that are earning money for the country, companies that are helping the country, they will advise them to sell it to them, or sell it just so that they can pay the loans. You see that at the end of the day, they keep them in a cycle of debt, in a cycle of debt. So I am totally in support of Dr. Arikana. She speaks the truth. She always stands for the truth. She's against this Western exploitation of Africa. She's just against it. And she always advises and encourages Africans to focus on your own available resources. What do you have? What are the resources you have available? Look at what Burkina Faso is doing. There was a video I actually made where she was supporting Ibrahim Traore. Supporting Ibrahim Traore. Say Ibrahim Traore is replacing Thomas Sankara. What Thomas Sankara was doing, Ibrahim Traore has just picked it up and is doing just that. Because that's exactly what the people want. So I personally support Dr. Arikana on this one. Like IMF, no. We Africans, we need the help, but you are taking the help and giving it to someone else that does not really need, that is not in so much need of that help. And she is saying that the only people that can change the country or change the continent, Africa, is the Africans. They are the ones that can change it, that can stand up and say no. We will prefer what the little we have. We will see how we work on it. We will see how we work on it. So she's totally against any African country going ahead to take loans from the IMF. No. This cycle of debt, let's say no to it. You're taking a loan that at the end of the day is going to hurt your country. Why taking it? Why taking it? So they should stop. She is saying that Africans should stop taking loans from the IMF, stop taking loans from the World Bank, because at the end of the day, these rules, it will be difficult to follow, and it will end up hurting their own country. We will end up hurting their own country, because at the end of the day, their success is based on our failure. That's what she's saying. Our success, their success, the IMF success is based on Africans' failure. So when Africans fail, that is when they are succeeding. Because when you struggle to, just imagine, you take a loan, you're paying 10% interest rate, and another person takes a loan, is paying 1%. What a gap. What a huge gap. So bravo to whoever that is working on rejecting this IMF loan. Is working on rejecting. So when Ibrahim Traore actually rejected the IMF, a lot of people were looking at him like, oh, this and that. But people that know what this is all about, they are in support of what he did. They are in support of what he did, because he did the right thing. He decided to use the available resources they have to build their own country, rather than depending on foreign aids, depending on IMF, this global organization like the IMF and the World Bank. No, he refused that. He is not going to do that, which is exactly what Dr. Arikana is saying.